So Sam Salima wanted me to talk about my lifeguarding days right out there in Long Branch. So back then I did have to use a nice green Speedo, believe it or not. These days it would be a Speedon't. But that day that I did have to save Sam out of the water, I did have to give him CPR, and right after that's when his hair fell out. So, but it's always been great knowing Sam for all these years. What's that? No, pictures. Oh, dear God, I hope there's not. Yeah, Speedo. So, Pina Coladas, Principle 18, and chiropractic. So I like this particular picture. So that's me, the boy wonder, who's my son, who's now 13. This was just last summer. And then that is my mother. And and I added this because I was hearing all these talks that everybody was talking about this morning. It was kind of like I thought that it fit. When I was in school, my mother came to visit. And she, as we're touring around the school, she sees the palpation rooms and she says, well, these tables are so low. And of course, I was still freshly from New Jersey then. Well, what the hell do you know about it? Because as far as I knew, she had never been to the chiropractor. I never went as a kid. My dad had had a couple of laminectomies at that point. I'm not sure that he ever went. But she says, well, your grandmother took me when I was a kid. And I said, really? I said, well, why did she take you? And she said, well, I had these really bad allergies. And has anybody ever had success after adjusting somebody and their allergies cleared up? Well, yeah, Jim says no. But my mother says, well, yeah. I said, did it work? She goes, yeah, it really, really did. And I said, well, then why, when I was in 3rd grade, did you get me 10 allergy shots in each arm once a month? And as I thought about that, I don't know who was wrong in the situation there. Was it my mom maybe just forgetting? Was it my grandmother who took her for this? That got resolved, and my grandmother was very allopathic, was a dental hygienist, worked in a surgeon's office, which is fine, so maybe that slipped. Was it the chiropractor who didn't tell the story or didn't tell it well enough? And I don't know. I don't know what the answer was there. Because I started thinking about that a little bit this afternoon, and then how many times have we heard the word principled chiropractic? You like it? Yes. I don't. And the reason is I think that pigeonholes us a little bit, because do other chiropractors have a set of principles that they follow? They're not the 33 principles. And then what it also opens the door to is that there's 2 different types of practice of chiropractic. And there's not. There's one. So if you're not doing chiropractic, then call yourself something else and give us our word back so we can practice chiropractic. So that's why I show that. I also like that picture because you can see, A, how hard I've been working out at the gym, and B, how hard I've been working out at the dessert table, all in one picture. So it's one of my favorites. So there we go. Rose, how you doing? I'm glad you made it. You suffering a little bit? Takes time. Everybody notice poor Rose has a broken arm? Would you like to be the mugger on the other side of that? So where the Pina Coladas came in, so the first Pina Colada I actually had was at a place called La Barraquina down in Puerto Rico, which is where they invented the doggone things. And so I started thinking about that with the Pina. Do you know the Pina Colada song? Do you know what the real name of the song is? If you like pina there it is, right on. So it's called Scape, because it's kind of like, oh, it's just a song about pina coladas, and it's really not. What the song is about is some guy laying next to his wife looking in the personal ads for something else, right? And so that's what he's looking at, something else. Do chiropractors look for something else? Sometimes, right? So something else is turning into that. I don't know if you can see it, but that's an advertisement for the Kaiser College of Chiropractic Medicine, right? So now they're taking us from being a noun and making us a bit of an adjective. And I would much rather be the noun, right? Because here's the thing, if it's chiropractic medicine, they're practicing medicine, right? So that wasn't too happy. What does the word escape mean? This is part people talk back. Retreat, go away. One definition, as I have my notes, says to break free. Another says to fail to be noticed or remembered. If we don't keep chiropractic, we will fail to be noticed and we won't be remembered. And we'll be a subset of medicine and people are walking around with subluxations. And so it's our job to lift it up to keep chiropractic. So there's the College of Chiropractic Medicine, which is good because there's a Journal of Chiropractic Medicine out there as well. Why can't it just be a Journal of Chiropractic? Because they're doing other things. And for the public and other people, what are they reading? Do they think we're a subset of medicine? And I don't want to bash medicine. Stephanie talked about having her appendix taken out. Was it good that there was a competent medical doctor in the room when that had to happen? Absolutely. But that's just not what we do. This, guys know Chris Kent? So I like this picture, and I'm proud of Chris, and I'm proud of Sherman College. So I do work at Sherman College, so greetings and salutations from Spartanburg, South Carolina. But it says, Statement on Chiropractic Care for Infants and Children. And so this was a response, and I'm glad it's blurry, but this was where the Australian Chiropractic Council said no to adjusting children. And so Chris wrote the response on behalf of Sherman College. I'm super proud that Chris took a stand. I'm super proud that Sherman College took a stand. I'm kind of bummed that he had to write it in the first place. And so that was the one that was really hurting me a little bit, that Chris was having to do that. But I'm glad at least he took a stand. So there it is. People talked about the YouTube videos earlier. This came out of because somebody innocently posted a great adjustment of a child. And so then that led to this man losing his license, and now there's a ban on seeing kids under 2 years old. And I don't know, when does the first subluxation happen? Oftentimes at birth, go figure. Why wouldn't we do that? And so, yeah, the YouTube is great because, talk about yourself. Talk about, bring your patients on YouTube or put them on Facebook, whatever you want it to be. Talk about the 33 principles, and if you don't know the 33 principles, do something called Learn the 33 Principles, right? Because they work super, super well. They haven't been found to be false yet, and while no, you can't use a random clinical trial to do it, you can use observational evidence, which if you read the research is just as valid as RCTs. As far as and that's within allopathy. So if it's good enough for them, it's good enough for us. What else do we got? Here is a poll from the American Chiropractor. Should the chiropractic profession abandon the use of the term subluxation? We're winning. We're winning. But are we? And actually, a few days after I took the screenshot of the picture, we were losing as far as regarding that poll. And it's not the most scientific poll because it was on this thing called the internet. Sometimes it's a little shaky there. But that being said, what I didn't like about it was, yeah, even though we were winning, that's a third of the profession as far as it was regarding that poll, thought we ought to take out the thing that makes us distinctive and keeps us away from colleges of chiropractic medicine. And then the other thing that bummed me out was that they're actually asking the poll in the first place. And when I was at the ACRAC, ACC-RAC conference a couple of years ago, there was a panel in front of a room of 500 people, and they had a debate. Should we keep the term subluxation? Well, then what the heck else were we going to do? So here we go. There have been reports of measles outbreaks in Canada and other countries. As part of its role to protect the public interest, the College of Chiropractors of Ontario recognized that vaccines, as mandated in the province of Ontario, provide a safe and effective means to protect individuals for infectious diseases. So we're not against vaccines anymore, right? And where does that start leading things? Do we start, instead of laying with LACVS, which is right next to us, do we start reading the personal ads and start looking for something else? And I think we're going down that road a little bit, right? Come with me and escape, as the song goes. In New Jersey, what exit? We're going to take exit principle 17, or 18, sorry. So I picked an exit sign. Does anybody really ask that in New Jersey of each other? All the time? I never did when I was growing up. I didn't know what it meant. Everybody asked me what exit, who the hell cares? but that's all right. So principle 18 of the 33 says the signs of life are evidence of the signs of life. So do you remember the signs of life? Not really? Some sort of, kind of? Remember that there are signs of life? Yeah. Not quite. That's all right. Well, let's go through them. Yeah. Well, we're going to start with adaptation. Are we in the adaptation business? And we are, and I was starting to think, what does adaptation mean? It's to make a change, but it's to make a change to withstand current conditions. So it's not just to change. So have you ever heard what chiropractic's got to adapt? It's got to evolve and do those sums of things. Well, there is a storm coming at chiropractic, and it's not that we have to change ourselves and be something different. We got to be stronger to stand in the face of the storm. And the way that we do that is go to places like New Beginnings. The way that we do that is go to the Academy of Chiropractic Philosophers, get your philosophy diplomate, have a band of brothers group, have a band of sisters group, whatever group you want to have. And the way that we do that, going to New Beginnings and talking with each other and debating what does the chiropractic philosophy actually mean. I believe when we'll have the adaptation that we need to create a stronger profession. I'm kind of doing them backwards a little bit, and in my head it sounds real good. We'll see how it comes out. Reproduction. Jim, hide your eyes. So what kind of reproduction, what kind of graduates are coming out of school today? How many people ever get up in front of the stage, and I went to A, B, C, D, and E school, but don't hold that against me. If you went to a chiropractic school that's not Sherman, I'm fine with it. I want to be excited that you're a chiropractor. I don't want you to come out of a school, pay 3.5 years, get in a little bit of debt, and then have to go to somewhere and decide what chiropractic is. So what kind of growth is happening as far as the students of our profession? Maybe not the best. Come with me and escape. So then how's chiropractic growing? How many are we still seeing? How many were they seeing when you were in chiropractic school? Is it the same number? Pretty close. Pretty close. So as a profession, are we not growing like we should? I think I looked up on the Google, and it said there was 60,000 chiropractors in the United States. And there's about 375 million people in the United States. We can't see them all. And of those 60,000, not all of them are practicing. Some of them are just graduated from a chiropractic school. So we are really behind in taking care of the world. And that being said, when you start reading Facebook, what kind of shape is the world in right now? Oh, that's great, isn't it? I think we're highly subluxated, and we need to take care of an awful lot of people. So we got a huge, huge job to do. Elimination. I loved some of the talks that I was hearing about. Dr. Jeff mentioned nutrition. So in elimination, as far as a profession, what do we eliminate to become a better chiropractic? Eliminate the other side, not in the New Jersey way, because that's illegal. But that being said, we've got to get back to chiropractic. In my own office, when I started my own practice, I had a massage therapist in there, and I'll be the first one to tell you I love a massage. I still get them once a month. And so I had a buddy of mine walk in the office that started teaching at Sherman, so I'm just showing him around the place. And he says, what the bleepity bleep did I have that person here for? I said, well, that's kind of strong language. But then it got me thinking, the issue was I was a little bit incongruent because the reason they were going to her was for pain. And that's okay. That's why you go to a massage therapist a lot of time. So do you think patients might be getting a mixed message when they're in my room and then they go to the next room, or vice versa? So I said, wow, I really have to eliminate, because what I'm trying to do, signs of life. And I want a practice that is as vibrant as possible as can be. So then I got rid of the massage therapist, and my practice has been growing and growing ever since. And business-wise, I make a whole lot more money out of that room adjusting people than I ever did having a massage therapist run it. And so what are some things that you may have to eliminate? Maybe it's just eliminate not going to New Beginnings regularly. Maybe it's eliminate not reading the green books. They're not that bad. If you have trouble with the green books, read the blue books. So we have other avenues that we can use. So then it comes down to assimilation. What are the things that we're going to bring into the profession? So that's why it's important. We've heard it a couple of times already. Coming to New Beginnings, you start getting to the philosophy, which is so big. And so assimilation, I started thinking, right, keep it simple, stupid. We heard about that. I think it's keep it subluxation, stupid, because that's what chiropractic's about. And as far as adding more and more things, what else do I have there? Oh yeah, we're going to do that in a second. So as far as adding more and more things, that's the same thing as the guy in the song reading the newspaper. And here's the kicker about that song. What happens at the end? Right? Ends up being his wife that walks in the bar. Right? So what we needed all along was there all along. Subluxation care is what chiropractic is. We don't need anything else. The world doesn't need a broader scope. The world needs less subluxations. And that's what we do. So in closing, and thank you, Jim and the board, for having me out. You guys are going to sing after this break. Right? So everybody knows the tune, so I changed it a little bit. So all right, everybody, somebody have one. Are you ready? All right, everybody, here we go. If you like chiropractic and moving bones in the spine, checking moms and their hubbies, grandma and grandpa in due time, if you like helping kids experience life and rise above all the fuss, then chiropractic's what you look for. Come with me and adjust. Thank you very much.